What's up, YouTube? This is Gavin from Team Enforcers bringing you a first place Gem Night FTK deck profile. Let's get into it.
Hi guys. Alright, to start off, we start with 2 Gem Knight Lapis. This card's a brick, but you have to 3 Tourmaline. It's another brick, but I mean, it's not as bad. You can make other things with it, like Prismira, which is pretty decent. 3 Armadillo. I wanted to cut this card down to 2, but then I realized that it's still too good of a starter for me not to play it. If I don't open Brilliant Fusion, but I open this in a Gem Knight Fusion, I'm able to continue my combos to help me go for the OTK. 3 Obsidian. This card's nasty. When it's sent from the hand to the graveyard, you special summon a level 4 lower normal Gem Knight monster from your graveyard. Super good for the FTK, as I'll explain later. 3 Gem Knight Lazuli. What this card does is when it's sent by a card effect to the graveyard, you can add a normal normal monster from my graveyard to my hand. So it allows you to keep combo extending. That's it for the Gem Knights though. Next we have 3 Block Dragon, MVP of the deck. Banish 3 Earth monsters, summon it, and then your rock monsters can't be destroyed except by battle. And when it's sent to the graveyard, add 3 rock monsters, up to 3 rock monsters whose levels equal 8. Then you play 1 of Crystal Rose. It's a light target for Seraph Knight. On top of that, it just has a really solid effect in the deck. It also has recursion to allow you to add the more special summon monsters, which is part of the deck's FTK. 3 Rescue Rabbit. If I don't open any way to get the Gem Knight link out, this allows me to do that. Moving on to hand traps, we got 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Card's just broken. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be said about it. 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. I actually don't like this card right now. The only reason why is because our locals is pretty dominated up at the top tables with magicians, and that card doesn't really do anything. Moving on to spells, we have 3 of the best cards in the deck. Brilliant Fusion. If I open this in a Gem Knight, I actually have the FTK. 3 Gem Knight Fusion. Pretty much as good as Brilliant Fusion. It allows me to keep the FTK going after I Brilliant Fusion, but other than that, it's it's subpar. If I'm going second, I can use this a million times and put a bunch of monsters out and beat you to death. 2 Unexpected Die. It's a starter. It allows me to work my way into the Link monster. Obvious, Monster Reborn, Soul Charge, Raigeki, Foolish, 1-ofs, super generic, obviously. And then the Spice, Drag Down to the Grave. So what this actually does is it allows me to look at, we look at each other's hands, and then we both pick 1 card and send it to the graveyard, then we both draw a card. So it allows me to do combos with cards like Crystal Rose, Lazuli, Obsidian. So these 2 cards actually both get effects off when sent to the graveyard by this, just because this is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, and this is sent from the hand to the graveyard. This is a little okay to send off Drag Down, just because you can still get the recursion effect if you have a fusion engrave. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I didn't really get to activate it at all, so it never really got to do anything. And then actually moving on to the extra deck, you got the Shiny Gyarados token, cute. 1xyz, True King of All Calamities. This card is broken. It is super broken. It basically says my opponent can't play the game during their turn. It makes it so all monsters that they possess become a certain attribute of the declared type, and then monsters on the field cannot activate their effects of the declared attribute. So basically, you call Earth, you call Light, whatever you gotta call, and then your opponent basically can't play. Moving on to the fusions, we have Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond. Basically, she tutors out any of the Gem Knight fusions from the extra deck by sending a Gem Knight card. Super good as solid 1-of. We got 1 Prismaria. Basically, this card is just used to out cards when I need to. Seraph Knight for the extra normal summon. 2 of Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli. You don't need 3 because you're only able to summon it once, and you're just going to actually banish it off of Master Diamond's effect. But what this is actually part of the FTK. What it allows you to do is send 1 Gem Knight card from your extra deck or deck to the graveyard to deal 500 damage for each special summon monster on the field. So what your goal is actually just summoning 5 monsters across the field, summon an extra link monster, and then you want to burn for 3,000. Moving on, we have 2 Zirconia. This actually is the card you need in order to start your FTK off. If you open like the most generic FTK hand, you're going to summon this by sending Block Dragon and another Gem Knight to the graveyard with Brilliant, and that starts your combo off. 3 of Master Diamond. This is actually the best card in the extra deck in my opinion, besides for the Link monster. It's 2,900, gains 100 for each Gem Knight in the graveyard, and on top of that, he can copy any Gem Knight effect by banishing it from the graveyard. You banish Lapis Lazuli, copy its effect, use its effect again, deal it one more time, you got 9,000 damage right there. Moving on to the links, 1 Decode Talker. This would actually be replaced with Gem Knight Topaz, I believe is his name, because it allows my Master Diamond to copy it. It allows it to then attack twice and inflict Armory Arm damage every time it destroys a monster. Then we got 1 Mrs. Radiant. This actually is to help with the combo, because you actually link away your Phantom Quartz and your and your Block Dragon for Mrs. Radiant. Then last, the best extra deck monster, hands down, besides for Master Diamond, Phantom Quartz. Basically, when he's link summoned, you add any Gem Knight card from your deck to your hand. Add Gem Knight Fusion, add Obsidian, add any of those cards that you need that help unbreak your hand. Generally, if I have a Gem Knight Fusion, I'm actually only gonna search an Obsidian or a Lazuli, so I can continue my hand looping. But yeah, other than that, that's the deck. Super simple. All you're doing is burning your opponent, and if you can't burn, then you're just gonna try and beat your opponent to death.
You got any shoutouts tonight?
Shout out to Ken for being my biggest lover in the world. He's the biggest weeb too. We all love him for that. Shout out to Cooper over here looking through this trade binder. Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to all the Mudkips in my squad fam. You know. And shout out to Alex Botches for not being the current water god. Thank you. I'm good.
This finishes this FTK deck profile. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and get your game on YouTube. Peace.